Yo, we're back. This is Mickey Factz, and I'm here for Old Noted, but this is the particular segment that we got called Under the Scope, and we're going to start working on this second round that I have for DNA. This video has been sponsored by my guy, Brent Northern. He wanted me to break down the lyrics. We are not going to be talking about what my opponent was doing or what may have been happening in terms of on his side, just kind of focusing on the lyricism of what was happening, breaking the layers down so you guys could kind of get a firm understanding on what I was getting into. So let's get started. Shout out to my co-host who can't be here with me today, Lil Sazon. She can't be here today, but we here. We gonna make this thing happen, and let's get straight into it. So, in my opinion, this is actually my favorite round when I was writing it. I think the general public believes my first round was my best round. While writing this round, this was my favorite round to put together. There were, I think there was about 4 or maybe 6 bars that was edited out. I don't even know if it's still here in my notes. But let's just get right into this. The second round, I wanted to take an approach of angles that people really didn't have on DNA or use on him. The issue was I didn't expound upon a lot of them, and I could have exploited some of them a little bit more. After hearing DNA's round, I kind of knew I didn't have enough to beat that. I felt like I had some great material, but I didn't know if it was enough to beat what he did, because he had just went to a completely different level, energy-wise and, lyrically. But I knew that I had enough to kind of keep me in the game. You know what I'm saying? So let's get started. This battle was easy to tackle. Quit fumbling. This is a real legit pummeling, obviously. Tackle, fumbling. Easy to tackle. Quit fumbling. You getting beat super bad. Word to my state ID. Mick loving it. So super bad, state ID, Mick loving had the state ID, Mick loving it. I was trying to add McDonald's in there to make it a triple, but I couldn't figure out where to put it. And plus, I said Mick loving it, so adding McDonald's to it as well probably wouldn't have worked. So I just opted to not use it, and it was becoming a little frustrated. Maybe if I would have said something like Golden Arches, it would have probably worked, but I don't think so. Complete gritty. This geek sweet. Y'all thought he would compete? Really? Well, I gave him the shot, and once it came out of St. John, he died. Malik Sealy. I was happy with that bar and the reaction it got, because after his incredible round, I didn't know what was going to happen. But that's actually one of my favorite bars. I try to take approaches against this guy because, again, he's been in front of, at this point, he was in front of about 119 people. So he's probably heard all kind of different bars and different things. So I did my best to be as creative as possible with, flipping his last name, flipping his first name, flipping DNA in creative ways, which we'll get to in the third round. 120 battles, you're missing 2. You on ESPN every year, your retarded faces, the K-Shine fight with Chess, how you left in despair. So I'm talking about all the things that everybody else talks about. Everything else that's predictable that people use against you, I won't mention it here. So everybody grab your asthma pumps. It's time for a breath of fresh air. So I wanted to give people some insight on things that he was doing that I felt people weren't prone to. So I start this sequence is actually my favorite sequence in the entire battle. I watched this so much, and the fact that it didn't get like a haymaker reaction was a little, it was a little disheartening. And even being there and watching it back, I'm like, man, this is a monster. I known clips before you. He wasn't playing CeeLo on the corner. Then he met you and ended up broke in the casino out of order. So he ended up broke, out of order. He was out of order in the casino. He was just bugging out, but he was also broke. And a casino machine is out of order. Crazy, but that's your brother though. It's crazy how you rep it. You go with him to roulette, lose bets. He be too stressed, and you don't painfully regret it. Gambling your friendship is criminal, and you aiding and abetting. Hey yo, that bar is absolutely insane to me. That bar is absolutely insane. I remember I put that down and I was like, aiding and abetting. Oh my gosh. And it didn't get the wild reaction I thought it was going to get. And at that moment, that's when I knew I lost the round. I knew. It was at that point I knew I lost the round, because that bar to me was unbelievable. And I knew I had to fight through everything after that. So then it goes into URL don't respect you. They release Twerk versus Chess, Twerk versus Suge. Before we ever see DNA versus Twerk, we'll see Twerk versus Goods. It's December 15th. Y'all battle ain't drop. Why you let them fault that? Let them not drop this footage. We're gonna have a real Infinity War smack, and I ain't aiming for his head. I'm aiming for the shit that he threw, the thorax. At that time, at that particular time, DNA and Twerk hadn't released, and it was 5 months. They released that battle maybe 7-8 months later. And even the community and the culture was like, yo, Mickey made them release that battle. And they released it before me and his battle. And they had released a DNA battle before our battle, but it wasn't that Twerk battle. They was trying to not only protect Twerk, but they was trying to protect Twerk. I don't think I had anything to do with DNA. He had a fantastic performance against Twerk. It was just the fact that they was trying to protect Twerk, and he put that out like that. So I'm only here to say all facts, but hang on, Scrap. Let's talk about the real reason Head Ice ain't on Smack. So this is a story that I could have dove deeper into, but I feel I shouldn't have listened to the time limits, and I should have made this a big selling point to make people understand what was happening. But I was so afraid of the time limits that I didn't do that. And I think that's where I lose the round at too. I didn't expand upon this. If I would have expanded upon this, this would have been crazy. But I kept thinking the people want to hear direct. They want to hear back-to-back punches. And I deviated from how I usually write. So I shortened this story as much as possible. My man called me to tell me, yo, long story short, Ice played you in front of your girl, had the little nigga heated, tried to poke his chest out, but his heart was frigid and anemic. I mean, literally freezing. So think about all this dealing with Ice. And before the line dropped, he said he saw Ice. He said he saw Ice fishing for a reason, ice fishing. Line drop, Ice fishing. Nobody reacted. I called back like when he with NWX, he tough and he get his front on, son. But he was with Beasley and my man saw Ice elated when he could get the one-on-one. So Ice elated, like elated, and isolated for the one-on-one, crazy. Nobody reacted. I said, I heard there's footage of the kid almost getting his cap twisted. Uncle Rod got the child proof. Kid, cap twisted, child proof. Nothing. And Uncle Rod did have footage of this happening. So yeah, the shit with Joe Budden happened, but I don't avoid the wild truth. I always talk, when people ask me about it, I always talk about it. I don't know if people bring this up with D, but I think I was the first person to really bring it up. So, but when you alone and you see Ice, he's just a boy that cried wolf. And I thought that was gonna hit hard, but it didn't. And I should have just expanded upon that story, because that's a crazy angle to take. And if I take this angle and expand upon it, I remove everything I did after this, which is like, I should spit in your ridiculous way. I think I went into it, but he gonna say some dumb shit like, bring water your backyard, cannonball. I draw and will fire first, Neanderthal, the Trey Young, and I put the bird to your chest, Atlanta Hawks. So it's very simple bars. Dumbass setups with stupid movements, hands and all, punchlines that literally mean nothing, random bars, and the crowd gonna hear that dumb shit and applaud. So I was just basically making fun of his bars, but I also had something before that was like, I should spit in your ridiculous face, but I'm gonna sit and wait real quiet. I don't instigate, trip him. Soon as I spot him, lift the iron. This is fate, rock, fuck a seatbelt, standing over his body like I'm lifting weights, right? Like I was supposed to make that motion, but I was over it at that point, and it didn't look right. So I take fault for that, though. But I thought the bars was dope. But looking back at it, I could have removed at least 8 to 12 of these bars and dug more into the ice shit, and it would have been a bigger scenario. And then I go into this segment, which I really loved. Told you I would break DNA down better than the scientists, so scientists break DNA. His chin made of glass. He still got his frontal though. I admit, at least you ain't get a Bluetooth, but he on the jaw wireless. So his chin made of glass. So when your jaw get broken, you get a wire in your jaw. When he was missing his frontal, you didn't get a Bluetooth, but you on the jaw wireless Bluetooth. I thought that was fire. Fire lit. I'm a body, a stenographer. I was hype typing this. Quiet down, because you just right around the head scratches, psoriasis. So you around the head scratches. You around niggas that was like this. Plus you right around of head scratches, psoriasis. No, I reacted. Violence. Me and my pack take pride in this. Alliances. So alliances, I got it here written as alliances, but it could also be alliances, but alliances doesn't make sense. So alliances. So yeah, you could do assist, but I think alliances. I have alliances here, but I wanted to take note in lion. This pussycat was never in the jungle. That's the truth. And you defining just what a lion is. Lion, and it goes back to me having this lion scheme, right? Stomp him till he feel a pain in my foot. No podiatrist, snub nose, sinuses. So pain in the foot, podiatrist, snub nose, sinuses. Let it spread, viruses, and the big T jump in, silences. Now he no longer the quietest. That was his slogan, quietest. They wanted me to shake the room. Now you caught up in the earthquake. He tried the seismic wave, crazy. He tried the seismic wave. It ain't my fault lines been groundbreaking in the first place. Yo, come on. Fault line, groundbreaking, seismic wave, earthquake, room shaker. They wanted me to shake the room. Like, come on. Y'all let him say anything to the point he don't think believability matters, but that made him whacker because now he don't even believe ability matters. It's like I was going off, but I do acknowledge that there were some pieces that could have been removed. Mick Dapper, Y3 from the fit to the sneaks, hill, rock, gear, a mountain to nothing. Here's the hill, rock, gear, a mountain to nothing. Here's the cliffhanger. He think the shit is too steep. I should have said here's hill, rock, gear, a mountain to pebbles. I should have said that, but I was like pebbles. It don't really make sense. Big dagger at this inconsiderate idiot's cheek, then blade in his mouth. Let's see if he can escape by the skin of his teeth. I thought that was fire, but I could see why I didn't get as much reaction as it should have. I love that bar though. And then I ended with 2-0, ain't nothing about that debatable. I wrote that into the round because I didn't think he was going to beat that. I just didn't think so. But that was my second round. It's my favorite round, even though I could have edited some stuff out. When I was putting it together, I enjoyed it. I should have expanded upon the head ice portion. I had something about K-Shine in there too, about, coleslaws and shit, but because he was selling his old gear, and it was like, who, at that time, again, this is no shots at him. It was like, who's gonna buy old D&D gear in my mind, right? So, but that's the reason I didn't put that in there. I thought it was silly. But yeah, that's my second round. Tell me what you guys think. If you rock with it, if you don't, I'm here to talk to you guys about it. Yeah, and I'll see you back next time for the third round. Peace.